Has anyone ever felt like their pet was warning them about something? The night I woke up to wet breathing at the end of my bed, I thought it was Pixie. But when I rolled over, my dog was already curled beside my head, shaking like she'd seen a ghost. That was the moment I knew something was terribly wrong. Pixie wasn't sick, she wasn't limping, and the vet said she was perfectly healthy. But when you've lived with a dog for 8 years, you just know when something isn't right. And lately, Pixie wasn't acting like my sweet old girl anymore. When I was little, we found her as a puppy on the side of the road. She was tiny, dirty, and shaking, until I scooped her up in a blanket. Since then, she'd been spoiled like a princess. New toys, treats, and basically free reign of the house. But now that I'd moved into my own place, I noticed changes, weird ones. Instead of slowing down with age, Pixie suddenly acted like a puppy on caffeine. She'd sprint down the halls, scratch at doors, and tear apart toys with a kind of violent energy she'd never shown before. It was like she had tapped into some secret reserve of power she shouldn't have. At first, I told myself it was just the stress of a new house, but then she started keeping me awake at night. I'd try to sleep, and I'd hear her claws pacing back and forth outside my bedroom. Sometimes, when I peeked through the crack of the door, her shadow didn't look right. Too tall, too bent. I brought her to the vet, desperate for answers. The vet ran every test possible. Blood work, scans, the works. She looked me in the eyes and said, "Your dog is perfectly healthy." I wanted to believe her, but the way Pixie stared at me from across the exam room, unblinking, I swear even the vet's hands trembled a little. That night, everything escalated. I came home with a new, indestructible toy for her. Within an hour, it was shredded, covered in thick saliva that smelled like rust. I checked Pixie's mouth for injuries. Nothing. Not a scratch, not a drop of blood. And yet, the toy was soaked in something dark red. Later, I woke up to the sound of wet breathing against my foot. "Pixie, quit it," I mumbled into my pillow. But when I rolled over, she was curled beside my head, shaking like she'd seen a ghost. My stomach dropped. Slowly, I turned back toward my feet. That's when I saw it. A creature crouched at the end of my bed, its face warped between canine and human, fur patchy, teeth too long for its mouth. Its tiny black eyes locked onto mine as it let out a horrible wheezing sound, half a laugh, half a growl. And right before it lunged, I realized something chilling. Pixie wasn't acting different. She was warning me. I don't remember how I made it out of the house. I grabbed Pixie and ran until my legs burned. Somehow we burst into the police station, officers dragging us inside as I screamed about what I saw. But when I looked out through the glass doors, the woods were empty. Too empty. Like nothing had ever been there at all. The officers wrote me off as sleep deprived, but I know what I saw. And now, nights are worse. Every time I close my eyes, I hear claws on the floorboards. Not in my house, inside the station. And Pixie? She won't stop growling at the shadows, like she knows the creature didn't follow us. It came with us.